All right, so for Dr. Michelle Dow, if she wants to maintain any kind of credibility, she must answer the following direct and specific questions regarding medical ethics and responsibility. Uh, so, medical and ethical responsibility. So, did you inform your patients that hormonal birth control can prevent implantation, resulting in the loss of an already conceived human life? Can you provide documentation proving that every patient you have prescribed birth control to has received full informed consent, acknowledging its abortifacient potential? See, the answer is going to be no here. That I mean, it's undeniable because you cannot have informed consent because I mean these are minor children. She's prescribing to, suppressing the very natural and healthy bodily function, which is natural fertility. So, do you acknowledge that embryology establishes life begins at conception? Sorry, do you acknowledge that embryology establishes that life begins at conception, not implantation? It's not going to be. I mean, these questions will not be answered, right? She's going to run away in a cowardly fashion. Why do you use deceptive language that implies pregnancy starts at implantation rather than fertilization? And what is your ethical justification for prescribing drugs that could cause the death of a developing human being? Well, money and a lifestyle that requires less and less of cash, right? So, scientific and pharmaceutical integrity. If birth control only prevents ovulation, why do pharmaceutical companies explicitly state in their literature that these drugs also alter the endometrium? Can you provide scientific proof that none of your patients have conceived and lost an embryo due to birth control? And what percentage of women on hormonal birth control still ovulate despite taking the pill as directed? Right. This is these they will follow the instructions, but they still ovulate, and the conception will still be a very healthy baby boy or baby girl, developing naturally. Right. So how many of your patients experience breakthrough ovulation while on birth control? Do you track this data? And are you aware that the emergency contraception explicitly acknowledges it may prevent implantation? Do you inform women about this risk? I think they do. I don't believe that they wouldn't. Maybe I'm wrong, but the emergency plan B. I mean, I think that's the general idea is that for sure that they know that the baby is conceived, and they most of the time they do want to kill that baby. I think that emergency contraception there is implied, but the regular, if you will, birth control, it is heavily deceptive that it will be. It's the same thing. I mean, this is an abortifacient. The baby will die. Um, and I think that women are not aware of that at all. I think they really don't know. So financial incentives, right? Fraud and financial incentives. How much financial compensation do you receive from prescribing hormonal birth control? Great question. Do you receive any incentives, bonuses, or benefits from pharmaceutical companies for promoting these drugs? Have you ever received gifts, speaking fees, or funding from organizations tied to birth control advocacy? Do you disclose any conflicts of interests when prescribing birth control? And why do you push hormonal birth control rather than natural fertility education or safer alternatives, such as keeping your knickers on? So don't get me wrong here. The bank account is certainly bursting at the seams. All right. So and the accountability and justice. So if you claim birth control is not abortifacient, why not sign a legal affidavit stating you guarantee it never implants in implantation? All right. So there, that would be the accountability is very important here. Would you support an independent investigation into whether your patients received full informed consent about the potential loss of early human life? And don't hide behind, medical confidentiality and all this stuff. Don't even start for a minute about that. I don't want to even hear that. Don't even put that into your head. If it were proven beyond doubt that hormonal birth control results in early human deaths, would you stop prescribing it? And it has. I mean, nobody will disagree. Would you be willing to debate a medical expert in embryology or ethics about these concerns in a public forum? right? And if you cannot justify your actions medically, scientifically, or ethically, what should be the for the consequences for your deception? These are hard questions. Dr. Dow must answer. If she refuses to answer or evades them, she is guilty by omission. But I do not believe there will be any kind of response here. The coward's way out will be, of course, to exactly like there was a confrontation, and I said, hey, what's going on here? Why are you killing this baby boy or baby girl into the womb of the mother and all this stuff? And there was just oh, I didn't prescribe you anything. That's what she said. I know you didn't prescribe me anything. That's not what he said. So a blanket summary dismissal of the entire complaint. Well, there's no justification for this now. Certainly, there's culpability, and that guilt rests solely on her shoulders. Oh, very sad story, man. I cannot believe my own. This is a member of my family, and she's guilty of doing this kind of wicked nonsense here. Basically killing a whole bunch of. She's Acadian killing the Acadian children. It's truly mind-boggling what's happening here.